Every month, in the 30 minutes before our big community meeting, we have a grand tour, and Kara shows us some of the cool stuff in the new Small Biz Thoughts technology community website.
I'm really just going to go through the site sort of page by page and answer any questions that may come up. So when you first log in, you'll be redirected to your dashboard, which is this page here. The dashboard has been reimagined, let's say, compared to the last one to try to give you a jumping off point for really anything that you might be trying to do while you're logged into the community. So we have these really quick links at the top. If you're looking for a resource or training, this will take you to the resource library. If you just have a question that you're working on, some sort of problem, or wondering if you need to change up some part of your tech stack, for example, you can ask the community. This will take you over to our community forums. Carl and I are very aware that our forums haven't been as active as maybe we're hoping they will be. We're giving it one more go to see if this new format and the refresh on the site will encourage folks to actually start to utilize them. We don't want to have a lot of things on the website that aren't being used and just sort of taking up space. So we're giving it one more go to see what happens here.
Okay.
Most of us will see on this side an opportunity to complete our profile. And because this is my test account, I don't have anything filled out. So if you join since...
I did, and I actually filled it in while I was waiting.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're the type of member we need. So
And it was pretty easy, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Once you say, well, what do I have to do to get the extra 10% or whatever, you click on your company and it takes you to it. So
yeah, these are all clickable, so it'll take you right over to that area of your profile. And then if you just click this primary one, it will take you to, the sort of the top level version of your profile. In the back, you can edit. Moving down, we have quick start links. So this is what I imagine will be where most people can find their jumping off point for whatever they need. So really quickly, we have a card for resources. This takes us over to the resource library to view either all or jump to Roadmps. And if you're not familiar with Roadmps, this is a collection of resources and training that's based on a specific area of your business or a type of problem someone might have that they're working on. It's not meant to be all of the solutions related to that, but more of a starting off point for that. And we'll look more at those in a little bit. Next, we have training. So again, you can go to all training or you can jump to 3-part classes. 3-part classes is a series that Carl had been putting on for a while. It's just what it sounds like. It's 3 typically 1-hour sessions related to a specific topic. And all of these classes are only available inside the technology community. So members only, they're not available anywhere else. A quick note, the ITSPU classes are all listed inside the training resources now, not the content itself. So you can't actually watch the videos or download the handouts, but you will be able to see them listed and they'll show up in relevant search results. And things like that. Up next, we have the community. So this is where, of course, you can connect with your fellow members. And we have 2 main ways to do that right now. One is through all of the events that are listed on our calendar, and then also through the community forums. And we'll look at those both here in a minute. Discounts. Historically, this has been the most asked, where do I find ... question in the community. So we have it prime and center here. By the way, it's also up here in the header at all times. If you ever need it at any point on the website, you can go to it. This will list out all of your discounts that you have available according to your membership level. And then lastly, we have help and support. So we do have a bit of a new system that I think should work pretty well. I have 2 different forms, so get help finding something or report a website issue. So this will open up a pop-up. And this icon you might see is also down here. This icon is persistent across all pages. So clicking either of these things will do the same, open this pop-up. So this one you can do general help. It will automatically fill in these fields, but you can edit them if you need to. And then you can just let us know what this is about. If you need help finding something, if you want to meet with Carl, if you want help with your membership or something else, and then share any details. And by the way, if you do want to meet with Carl, you can let us know some specific dates and times that work for you so we can get that going as soon as possible. If you find a bug on any website or any web page, a similar setups where it will automatically fill in some of the information here, your name and email. It will also automatically pull the URL of the page you're on. And again, if you need to make any edits, you can override it. And then you'll let us know how urgent this is to you. And, what were you trying to do and what went wrong? Just sort of a standard basic ticketing sort of option there.
Right. And I just clicked on it and it filled in all the information correctly.
Excellent. Thank you for verifying. All right, scrolling down, we'll get a little bit more detailed information about what's happening. So on the left-hand side, we see the latest posts. And what this does is it pulls all the posts across the website that might be relevant to a member. I do have the May news, which was just released, of course, yesterday, as this is May 2nd. So this is pinned to the top of the feed right now. So even if we have updates, they will be posted below. You can sort of scroll through these and see what's new. So we have a new member content for a newsletter setup and tune-up. So it's just a nice way to really quick see what you missed out on. You can also see more updates across the community. Of course, this is sort of like a never-ending scrolling option. And so if you want to have that, you certainly can find that just by clicking more updates across the community. And the same link is up here as well. See more. On the right-hand side, we have an events calendar. We did have an events calendar on the last site as well, but this is a bit of a different layout, which I think will work really well for us. This shows this week's events by default, and you can use the left and right arrows to move ahead in time, or if you wanted to see what happened last week, of course, you can move back in time as well. And if you get really far away, you can just click the today button and it will bring you back to this week. You can click into any of these event postings and get more information, figure out how to join, all that good stuff. In this case, the MSP Professional Sales Program, this is going to be our ITSPU class that's currently happening. And then today we have the new member tour, which we're on right now, as well as our regular monthly meeting starting at the top of the hour. And then finally, the last two things on this page are the latest training. Carl recently did a webinar on measuring success and KPIs, or the unpopular truth as it may be. And then the latest resource or non-training resource in the library is for the newsletter setup and tune-up checklist. So that about does it for the dashboard. I'm very happy to receive any feedback folks might have if you feel like something is missing or is worded in a way that's unclear. I'm happy to receive all of that feedback and make any updates that might be helpful to folks. So let's pop over to the resource library. And I've gone ahead and opened some tabs up because I know sometimes, especially when we're sharing a screen, things can get kind of laggy. So I'm just going to use my opened tab here and scroll up to the top. So here we have the resource library. The resource library is the biggest change that we have on this new site. We have a much more capable filtering system and search system. It's still being fine-tuned, so you might find that sometimes you're getting a lot more results than you expected. And for some people, that's a really good thing. For some people, it can feel kind of overwhelming. The thing to remember is that, at least how it's supposed to be set up, is that the most relevant options will be shown at the top of the list. And if you're feeling like that may not be the case, feel free to just hit the help button and let me know, hey, I, help finding something. This is what I was searching for. And, it wasn't helpful because ... and let me know. And I can look into that more specifically. We have these new filters at the top, which is different than the last website as well. So the thought process here was to sort of fill it in like a Mad Lib. And you can fill in as many or as few fields as you feel is helpful. So I need info on for this department as a in this format. And if we look, I need info on, and you can pick as many of these as you like. So I want, let's say, a management related topic. And actually, let's pick a different one. Let's pick a strategy. And so this shows that 132 posts will come up as strategy. And of course, you can scroll all of those. But now I want to narrow it down to, let's say, the sales department. And so
So let me
this,
stop you there. So
yep,
is that filter connected to the first filter, limiting it to only subjects that have
yes,
an
yes.
association? Okay,
Good
cool.
question. Yep. Let me back out of it for just a moment. So I do
Yeah.
have a note here that explains that. So
Okay. Yeah.
filters within the same dropdown have an or operator. So if I wanted
Right.
to add another one, then I can say strategy or internal.
Right on.
Filters in different dropdowns have an and operator. So if we want to do it across, then it will be strategy and front office, let's say.
Right.
So now we're down to 31.
Right.
And now I
Uh,
want to say it's strategy, front office, and I want to look at books.
cool.
And by the way, I want to have it available as a Kindle. Great.
Wow.
Now I have 6 options.
Cool.
And you can say it could be front office, but it might also be management that I'm interested in. And maybe, for books, it's a little bit different here. So this may broaden your search. Let's see, if I take away book, it probably will broaden it quite a bit and Kindle. There we go. Now we're up to 30. So it might take a little bit of playing around with, but I think that over
What?
time, once folks get used to it, it should be a pretty cool way to find what you're looking for.
Yeah, precisely.
And one
And
of the things that is so subtle about this is you may or may not have noticed how incredibly fast the results come back. Like when she first picked, strategy and it had, I can't remember what, some like 130 or whatever. The results down below 122, it just like instantaneously was there, like faster than I noticed the first like several times I used it. I was like, oh my God.
we're already ready already.
Well, that's because
Yeah.
they're using the buffering properly, right? So the display is limited to only a couple of fields, and so once you display that, then you can data fill everything else in there. So yeah, it is fast, and I did note it. We're dealing a great deal with architects, and lag time is our enemy. is our enemy.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right. So once you have chosen your filters, and by the way, if you aren't sure where to start with filters or you want to start with a keyword, you're welcome to simply type in the search box as well.
Wow.
Maybe, for example, if we clear both of these out, you just remembered that, hey, I think Carl's brother Manny was on a call once. What did he do? And we can see, oh, here's something that Manny did, and here are some classes that he's related to. And here's another time he was on, and he was an author on this book. So you'll be able to also search by keyword as well, pretty well.
Perfect.
All right, so moving down into our results list, a couple of things I want to point out. So we started to use these icons so that they're scannable, easily identifiable, as opposed to having specific featured images with lots of text, which I found to be more distracting when looking at things in aggregate like this than they were helpful. So we switched that out. You'll also see very quickly what type of result are we looking at. Of course, this is a roadmap versus a seminar or webinar versus an ITSPU class, etc. And then we can also see what the format is. There's no format with a roadmap because it's a collection of resources, as opposed to this seminar is a video, whereas this seminar is an audio only. So it gives you an idea before you even click into the resource what you are going to be getting. So I have another tab open of a recent resource we added. In case you missed it, Carl updated the 68-point checklist or version 4.0 a couple of weeks ago. So we have some description here on the right side. And this is a similar layout to what we had on the last iteration of the site as well, where we have the description on the side and the download on the left. One of the differences here is anytime there's a PDF, it's actually going to open up to show you a preview in your browser tab. So you don't have to necessarily download everything locally to use it or to review it. Some folks may or may not find that useful. If I get a lot of feedback that you'd prefer just to have a straight download every time, I'm happy to make that update. But otherwise, let me just click into it and we'll be able to review the whole checklist here. And of course, you can download it, print it, do whatever you like.
Right on.
The only thing you won't be able to do is send it to anybody else. These are protected, and so you have to be logged in. If you decided to save this as a bookmark to your local browser, for example, you would have to be logged into the community in order to access it again. Although, by the way, let me go back. I have the Zoom bar in my way. There we go. Let me go back here. We do have a bookmark option on the site as well. So on every post page, you'll be able to just simply click bookmark, and now it's bookmarked. Up here, we have our bookmarks link. So I can just click this, and now I can see that the 68-point checklist is part of my bookmarks. And if I decided, hey, actually, I don't want that, I can remove it, no problem. So that should give you a nice, easy way to keep your favorites all in one spot. Let me go back here. And the final thing I want to note here is we can quickly see what departments and what focus or topics this resource is part of. And then we can also see suggestions about other resources we might find helpful. Not every single resource right now has a you might also like resource attached to it. But I think over time we'll probably get there. And for example, with this one, since this page is for version 4, you might also be interested to click back to version 3. And then of course, the same thing. Now it links back to version 4. Let's see. I want to look at a book quick. And let's get rid of manuals filter, and then we'll go to a book. And let's go to manage services in a month. A couple changes on the book pages, and actually any page that has audio. We didn't used to have an audio player, now we do, which I think will be really useful. You used to have to download all of the audio files locally to your computer, and now you can just start to listen.
Manage services in a month.
In this case, to the audiobook directly here. And by the way, if I start listening and I get 42 minutes in, and then I leave and I come back, maybe I've gone to the events page and then I go back to the resource library. Let me go back to books and manage services in a month. It remembers where I am. So that's really nice. You can also download the book, of course, if you want to take it with you. If you're someone who likes to listen and read at the same time, you can read the audiobook directly in your browser. It's a PDF. If you want to take the audio files with you, you still can. You can still download those locally. And then the same with the Kindle and e-reader, the Mobi and EPUB files, what have you. Also, and boy, this was a fun project. We have separated out all of the downloads for every single book, so you can follow along in real time. Part of the usability issue of how it was on the old site, you would just typically have one huge zip file, and it would have all of the book files and all of the files all at once. And I imagine many members have downloaded, for example, managed service in a month, 10 times. And it's just in the downloads file or whatever cloud storage you have. So now you can do one at a time if that's how you wish to go through it. We've tried to add the chapter ahead of the download itself. I don't know that that's 100% across the board for all of the books right now. That's something that I'm going back to audit and make some improvements on. All of the handouts are here. It just might not have the chapter in front of it like managed services in a month does. And what else do we have? Same thing on the next side here. One of the things we did, you'll notice there's lots of you might also like, and you might notice that these are similar to the downloads file. And that's because the downloads have also been added as separate downloads. So if we pop back over to the resource library, you may have noticed the first time we were going through this that under the topic section, we have a book handout. So there's 124. And that means that we have 124 individual handouts from the books. We found that a lot of people were looking for specific things from the books and they couldn't find them because it was too nested inside of something else. And so now when you click into something, it'll let you know, hey, this resource is part of a book. Head down to the You Might Also Like section and we can see, oh, this is part of the Small Biz Quick Start workbook. So it might be enough that I just have the download, but if I need any context, then I can click over to the workbook and start from here. Which I'm noticing, oh, there wouldn't be an audio player here, that's why. So let's see, what else? Events. Let's pop over to events. This should be pretty self-explanatory, I think. Tuesdays are all the ITSPU classes that are currently happening. Shout out to James. And then, of course, we have our new member tour, which we're finishing up right now and moving into our monthly member meeting. And of course, this is all on the same link, so we don't have to juggle those. Something that is brand new to the new website, and well, I suppose this is a second breakout technically. We're doing a breakout on marketing. So every third Thursday of the month, we meet for our breakout. These are, let's just click into it and we can get a bit more information. These are non-recorded meetings. They're open to any member, but they're non-recorded. And they're about a specific topic. So you can sort of think of it as kind of a mini peer group sort of atmosphere, but it's not meant to last forever. It's meant to be more short-term and highly actionable. So you're going to be voicing and stating your actual goals and then working toward progress on those by the next time we meet. If you're interested and you haven't registered for this breakout yet, you can head over to the events calendar and click this. To register, you just please fill out this form. This will give Carl a bit of an idea of where folks are at for marketing and where to sort of facilitate conversations toward and things like that. You don't have to give your name if you don't want to. That's why it's not already pre-filled for you. And what this will do is add you to the Zoom-based breakout meeting. So that is on a separate link. And then it will also add you to the marketing group breakout and subscribe you to the marketing breakout forum as well. So this is a newer initiative that we're hoping members will find really helpful, and we'll have a new topic. I don't know. We're sort of playing it by ear. Maybe a new one once a quarter or two a year. We'll have to sort of see. Let's see. I think that's most of what we might find. Here's an ITSPU class, plainly labeled here. And then we do have a link to go grab your code first. A reminder to anyone that's newer around here, your login at ITSPU is different than your login at the Small Biz Thoughts technology community. Sometimes we get questions from folks, hey, my login isn't working. That's on purpose. That's to help keep things more secure. I'm sure y'all can appreciate that, even though it might be, one more addition to your password keeper, whatever you might use. Let's see. What else do we have? I mentioned I was going to look at a roadmap really fast. Here's that collection of resources. This one's the roadmap on client roadmaps. And like I mentioned before, this isn't meant to be the end all be all for everything we have that might be useful here, but it's more that starting point, and it's broken down by type. And of course, if this doesn't feel like it's answering your question, you can still come over here and let us know how we can help further, or if you want to meet with Carl about it. Finally, we have the forums. I mentioned earlier that Carl and I are working hard to see if the forums are going to be more viable in the community moving forward. We don't want to have things just sort of taking up space. We want them to be helpful and useful. So what we did is that we used to have, if you remember, we used to have, I think, 5 or 6 different forums on the last iteration of the website. And I think this was leading to a bit of confusion on where best to post any questions if you had any. So what we decided to do for now is to bring just one general community forum. We only have the one thing, introduce yourself, that's me. But you can also start a new question here. You can ask people what they're using for, I don't know, a good spam filter for their clients, whatever is related to your business and you want any feedback on from the community, this is the place to put it. And Carl and I will be checking those regularly to help encourage feedback from the community. And by the way, that will also show up on the latest post. So if you post in there, it will show up here as well. So it will bring some visibility to your question as well. After that, let's see, we have our discounts. A lot of folks will be looking for ITSPU classes. These are for your staff because your staff get a discount as well. And then to get your free classes, remember I'm logged in as a community member, so I get 1 free class per year. If you are a Community Plus member, you have a different code and you get all classes for free. And then it gives you some details on the types of discounts in this case, and then also how to use it. And we do have, I try to give these call outs. Sometimes we still gloss over them because that's just what we do as humans, but this is a reminder that your logout is different, or your login rather is different at ITSBU. Beyond that, there is a, let's head over to the view all members. I think there's a better place for me to put this link. And I will find it, but in the meantime, it's in our account dropdown. If you want to view all the members, you can certainly do that. Hopefully we'll have some more images filled in as people fill out their profiles. There is the community aspect to this site. It's kind of similar to Facebook. You can connect with them. So Chris, I'll go ahead and connect with you right now. So right now you have a pending request from me, and Chris will see that up here in the bell notifications. He'll have a number there now, and it will say I've requested friendship. And then I can also choose to send Chris a direct message. So if you wanted to connect with folks, sometimes I get emails from people asking me, hey, can you send me so-and-so's email? And the answer is probably not, unless I already have a relationship with that person. I'm not in the habit of sharing other people's personal information, of course, but this is a great way that we can still connect with members and not actually need their email. You do get an email notification, so you don't have to constantly be checking the site, for example. You will get an email that said, hey, so-and-so sent you a message, and you can log in. I think it will show you a preview in your email, and then you can log in and respond here. Let's see. Have I covered everything?
No, but it's a great start, and we'll cover more next time.
Perfect. Does anybody have any questions about anything I went over or anything I may have missed?
Anybody? No, nobody here.
Awesome. All right. Well, I will stop my screen share, and if anything comes up for anybody, you know where to find me.
All righty. Thank you very much. And now